Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to the channel. This is a continuation of my Lightburn for Newbies series. And in the last video, we created this ornament right here. That was your first project, just a simple single layer ornament. In this video, we're going to make a more complex ornament that's going to have cutouts in it. Not just a cutout for the hanging hole, but cutouts in the entire ornament. And I'm going to show you how to create a snowflake, or at least one way to create your own snowflake, and how to attach it so it doesn't fall out when you cut it. So let's get into Lightburn. And you see here, this is the ornament that we just did, and I'm going to leave it where it's at and select all, and I'm going to put the entire thing on a tool layer. And you'll see why I'm doing that in a little bit. But for now, let's go back, click on the red layer, grab a circle, hold shift, drag it out, and we want to be 95 millimeters. And my aspect ratio is locked, so we want 95 millimeters, still maintain a perfect circle. Now I'm going to duplicate this and put the duplicate onto a tool layer. That way we can use that for framing of our circle, just like we did in the last video. And then I'm going to go back to red. Did that change it back on me? It did. Okay, put that on a tool layer. Now I've got, okay, good. That's on a tool layer. Now I'm going to click off that. I'm actually going to hide the tool layer. Select this, and I'm going to do an inward offset of 8 millimeters. And I'll make it 6 millimeters. Inward offset, and I don't want to delete the original. So now I have two lines, and this is going to cut out. We still need to place our hanging hole up top. So let's do that just like we did before. Find the center point, Command Shift, drag it out, and I got to turn the tool layer back on because that came in as a tool layer. We put that, select it, and put it back to red. So that's how big. That's 12.6. We want that to be 15, and I want it to move from the center. So I'm going to click on the center here, make it 15. Now we need another one. Control Shift from the center. Oh, gotta select the ellipse tool. And this we want to be 8. Okay. So now we have our hanging hole. So we can't do it the same way we did last time. We got to do it a little bit different. We've got to be more selective. So we'll click on the outer circle, the larger of the two, and click on the outer ring, and then use the weld feature. And what did it? Oh, it grabbed the tool layer. That's okay. Go back here. We'll change this guy back to tool layer. That's one thing that happens sometimes when you have layers stacked on top of each other. And I didn't turn the tool layer back off. There. So now that won't be affected anymore. Okay, so we have, right now if we did this, we'd have just a big inner circle, the outer shape, and the hanging hole. And that's a little bit too big. I'm going to make that a little smaller. We'll go with 6. Okay. So now I said I was going to teach you how to make your very own snowflake. So we'll grab the rectangle tool, drag it out, put it on the tool, on the red. Okay, so I want this to be, and you can use any dimensions you want, it doesn't matter. But for my smallest, I want the small size to be 3 millimeter and 20. No, 25 I think it was. Yeah, 3 by 25. There's one. Then I need a 3 by 10. And a 3x7. Okay, and my select tool. Now watch what we're doing here. I'm going to grab both of these and go 45 degrees. All right, so I take this. I'm grabbing it from this corner here. And I'm placing this corner right on the line. And just a little bit below the top. The bigger one, I'm using the other corner and placing it on the opposite line with a little bit of spacing in between. Okay. And you can space them out any way you want, and this is just how I want to do this for the offsets. I'm going to select both of those, going to duplicate it, then we're going to flip them, mirror them, and grab this corner right here, grab that, drag them over while holding the shift key until they line right up where you want them. And we're not quite there. You see it's just off a little bit. There we go. Still not quite perfect. I went too far. That's good. And that's good. Okay. So now those are where they're at. Now I'm going to select the entire thing by dragging from the right to left, and hit weld. Now we have one leg of a snowflake. Since our width on these is all 3 millimeter, I'm using a 1.5 millimeter radius. So I'm going to radius all these corners. I can click on them. Okay, now I grab the select tool, duplicate again, and rotate 180 degrees. Okay, now we'll grab this corner, and drag it down to where it lines up right there. Now select both, and weld them again. Now we have one leg of a snowflake. I'm going to duplicate, and I'm using the keyboard shortcut here, Command D, and rotate 120, and Command D again, and another 120. Now we've got a snowflake. All we have to do now is weld it together. Select everything and hit to weld. We have a snowflake here. Beautiful, huh? I'm just going to make this a single snowflake inside this ornament. Let's see if we're big enough here. There, center it. And the lines are just over. So right now, our snowflake is centered in the middle, but if we were to cut this out, I'm going to switch this over to fill mode just so you can see. Everything that's white is going to fall out. We got these little tips here where the lines will cross over each other, so that'll get cut out, and there'll be a hole as well. We can't have that. We have to have this. We have to have the center part joined to the center ring. We do that using Boolean tools as well. Again, I just selected both, and if I use Boolean subtract, now it cut out those pieces. So now if we cut it out, all the white parts will fall out, and the snowflake is joined to the center. So let's go ahead and cut this out, but I need to place it in my work area. So grab the entire thing, and I'm going to drag it up here where it's just below this other ornament we just cut, and make sure that it's less than 650. That's fine. In fact, let me just make this the same, 648. That's what we did on the other one. and the spacing between them is fine. So now if we go to laser and frame it, comes over and frames just below the one we just cut earlier in the other video. On the other ornament that I cut, there was one little spot. You can't, right there, you can't really see it on camera, but there's one little spot that did not quite burn through. So I'm going to adjust my power here. I'm going to run my speed down to 35, keep it at 50, run the speed down to 35. And you can see I made that change right here. So now it's 35 and 50 instead of 40 and 50. So let's click on the start button and watch this thing burn out. Sometimes you got to give them just a little bit of little spots that don't quite burn through. So here we have just a simple snowflake ornament that was totally drawn from scratch using only the tools in Lightburn and the one we did the other day. So I hope you learned from this a few tips and tricks. These are some basic steps that you need to really get a handle on as far as your design work and everything. And you have to be able to visualize what's going to cut out and what's going to fall out and what's going to engrave and all that. And once you have those basics down, you'll go far in your laser engraving. So thanks for watching. Click that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.